All right, everyone. Happy Thursday evening. Welcome to the Freedom Family Call. I'm really excited. You guys, we have had an amazing wrap up of July, kickoff of August, like August 1st and the shout outs. I mean, we've got like babies born and teams growing and diamonds popping and emeralds popping and holy cow. And I was talking to Summer Tucker today, who's our upline, and I said, this is like what I've been praying for a long time, and to see it happen is just amazing. And so I just want to high five all of you, like every single coach on this team, whether it was you just said yes and you signed up, to those that invited people to their team, to those that used the promotion codes and had the courage to invite for the first time and take someone's hand, to those that committed to Morning One Meltdown 100, the endless accolades, whatever it is that you did, give yourself credit and then some more. I mean, I'm just really proud of everybody and I'm just thankful. And I want to just start off our call before we kick into things to share a few things. So, number one, it's a new month and all of our new information is now in the announcements and it will stay pinned to the top of the team page for the entire month. So goals for, what your goals are for you to share for accountability. The dates for our challenge groups, the team call dates and topics. So you can go ahead and write those on your calendar to plan to be there. The ring the bell, anytime you sign a person up with any kind of product and get them started in their journey or welcome them to our team, put their name in there and we'll celebrate their life being changed and you being courageous to help get them started. And then other things that are important, like on Mondays when I do a Monday, focus, I'll keep that pinned for the week, and that'll help you guys this is kind of for new coaches, know what's coming around the pipeline. So make sure to check that out because we have lots of new things that popped up for this month. If you're wondering where the links are for the team call, because they used to be in the announcements, I took them down because you can now click the team header and access the link for the team calls, and if you want to do the workouts and other things. I'm just trying to not have 25 announcements up there because we had that I think once. So anyway, the last thing I'll tell you guys is for this month, Beachbody released promo codes again. So if you have not checked, you should have 3 fresh promo codes for $10 off. And I also posted the specials for the month, but they're also available in your online office under breaking news. Just be aware of what products are on sale and promotions are there. So when you're talking to people, if that is something they can use, don't just sell it because it's on sale. But if it's something like maybe someone wanted to try Recover and they were nervous to tap into the cost, well, now it's $10 off like that. And you could, offer them the opportunity to try it. So, good, Sarah. So she said she was sharing about it in her group. The other thing I would encourage you to do is when you are using different products, talk about it in your challenge groups with your challengers. That's okay. It's not shady. It's actually helpful because you would hate it if they were buying something from Walmart that wasn't as healthy because they had no clue that we have Hydrate. You know what I mean? And so that was something that was shared at Summit. Don't be afraid to talk about what we have because if you don't tell them we have it, they're going to go somewhere else to get it. So, all right, tonight the call we have is all about phase 1. So when you work your business, phase 1 is what's considered the income producing activities. Phase 2 is what's considered what I would say the maintaining the business you have activities. So that's when you check in your challenge groups, posting on social media, checking in on the team page. I'm going in and out of the matrix. Okay. We actually watched that movie the other night. That was kind of funny. So, what I find happens a lot of times is we get stuck in phase 2. We're like, oh, I'll just stay in my challenge group forever because this is fun and these are the people that have already told me yes. Or I will post on social media all day and scroll and think I've worked my business. Or I will hop on every training and watch all these videos and tap into everything in the Beachbody Champions page. But at the end of the day, you haven't talked to anyone new and you haven't invited anyone to make a purchase or to change their lives. And so if you are not hitting your goals, it might be because you're getting stuck in phase 2, which to me, I have battled that for a long time. So tonight, what Angie and I are going to do is Angie's going to actually walk you through the main parts of phase 1, how to do it, what it is, And then I'm going to walk you through how to track it, because the other side of this, guys, is if you're not tracking your business, you're going to be stressed. You're going to feel like you're never done. You're going to lose people, and you really aren't treating it like a business. So owning it through tracking makes a big difference, and it doesn't have to be complicated. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Angie and let her get started.
Okay. Hi, guys. So Power Hour Basics 101 is what we're going to be doing. So when you start your Power Hour, the first thing that needs to happen before you do anything else is you need to make a list. If you make your list, then you're going to be able to know exactly who you're going to try to talk to, who you're going to invite, who you're going to try to connect with. So if you can start with a list, you will have a much faster, more successful Power Hour. Now, that being said, sometimes it's hard to find a list. Sometimes it's hard to figure out where you start. If you're a brand new coach, this will be a little bit easier because you have a list of your warm market. These are the people that you know, your mother, your sisters, your friends, your close relatives, whoever it is you'd like to have join you. That's your first list. But for those of us who've been doing this for a while, where I like to go is my last couple food or fitness posts. And that's where I usually will make my list from. And it will be different, but based on the day and what the post was about. So I take those people and I will make a list of those people to just start a conversation with them. So start with your list. You need to have a list going into it of the people you'd like to talk to and the people you'd like to invite. So we're going to start there. So you make your list first thing first. The next thing that you do is your connections. This is the next thing that I do, is my connections. What I like to think of this as is this is just being friends. This is your chance to reach out your hand, to start a conversation, to say happy birthday, to say happy anniversary, to say great haircut, like whatever it is you'd like to talk to them about with any of these people. Sometimes this one isn't on my list. A lot of times these are people that I can kind of scroll for a couple minutes and find something to talk about with them. A lot of times this is, I'll look at in the events is where you'll see all your birthdays. And I'll scroll for a couple minutes and look for anniversaries, or I'll like a search on it just to see if I can find some. Because you can send an anniversary one that says, happy anniversary, how many years is it? Or congratulations on 25 years, do you have any special plans? Or whatever it is. And that way your connection is just being friends with them. So it should feel a little less intimidating as a business idea. If you're just thinking, I'm being friends. I am showing them how much I care. I'm showing them how much I love them. And I'm just starting a conversation with them. We're just getting to know each other. And so that's something you can do with pretty much anybody who is your friend on Facebook, or anybody who comments or is your friend on Instagram as well. And then if there are any special circumstances that you have, so like I had postpartum anxiety and depression with all of my kids. So one of the ways that I reach out to people on a very regular basis is if I see that they've had a baby, even if I've never spoken to them before, I will reach out because nobody reached out to me. I will reach out to them and I will say, I know you don't know me, but I had this problem. And if it's something that you're dealing with, I am here to talk to you and I can tell you what I went through and how I dealt with it. And I'm always available. How have you been? And if anybody had done that for me and shown me how much they cared, that would have been such a gift. So when you're doing your connections, you're just being friends. You're just reaching your hand out for whatever it is, whatever it might be. If they're having a hard day and you saw that post, send them a private message. Don't just comment on the post. Send them a private message, and they always say thank you. Even the people who are having no postpartum, even the people who are having no depression, even the people who have dealt with their bad day, they're like, thank you so much for taking the time to reach out. Thank you for taking the time to say happy birthday in a private message. Nobody does that. Like I had a birthday a month ago and I got maybe 5 private messages and I think they were all coaches. Like, Everybody else just sends happy birthday like on your thing, on your wall, and that's not the same. It just isn't. So we're trying to be as intentional as we can with reaching out and connecting with them, because when they know how much we care, because we do, we're not just trying to scam them and make a bunch of money and sell them, the Brooklyn Bridge. We're trying to change their lives. We're trying to help them change their life. So, okay. And anybody can do this. Anybody can reach out, and anybody can benefit from our products. So you're trying to also see if they might have a need. So are they an athlete? They can use the performance line. Are they you're trying to get to know each other enough so you find out what the need might be somewhere in their life, whether they snack on the go, whether they where they fall apart kind of thing, and where their holes in their boats are. So that's your connections. Now, from there, you can, if you see the need and you feel like you're ready, you can invite to whatever you feel like their need is, but you have to figure that out. You don't necessarily know what their need is going to be going into it. You can't go into any conversation thinking, I know exactly what they need, and I'm just going to gear the conversation towards what I think they need. So when you invite them, you're going to do invites every day, and you're going to try to find what it is they need and when they need it. So it might not be right now. It might be in a week. It might be in a month. But they're going to need something at some point, whether it is Shakeology so that they feel better and they're, everything works a little bit better. It might be that they need some easier snack foods. It might be that they need collagen. It might be that they need workouts. It might be that they need our community and they have to buy in to do that. It might be that they need the support. Whatever it is, they're going to need something. And so you guys just have to figure out, our job is to figure out what that need is and then invite them genuinely. And when they say no, continue to be active with them. Don't just let it, don't say, okay, that's fine. We are here to change their lives. We are here to be the gift that we have been given, to show that gift to other people. So when we invite them, we are shining a light in their lives, and it's our job to do that. And there's nothing icky about it. It is just an amazing way to have our team support other people and to have us be able to support them. This is like a vehicle for us to be able to do that for other people. So when you invite, you're just asking them if they're ready to join you, if they're ready to, make the commitment, if they're ready to do 30 days, if they're ready to try this new thing with you. Can they give you 30 days? Have you ever considered what could happen if you did 30 days with me? How would that make your life different? Have you ever considered what $20 extra might be for you in a month if you were a coach? Have you ever considered what this community could do to surround you with positive women who will help guide you on the way, take care of you as you go, keep you strong? So there's nothing, I used to feel like this was I can't invite people. But that's all behind me. I'll invite anybody. I invite everybody. And if they say no, I can ask them, and I did a couple of days ago. I said, why did you say no to me? What about what I said didn't sound like something you wanted to do? So now I know what I need to post about on social media. I need to show people that that's not the case. MLMs aren't icky, and I'm not trying to scam money from my friends. And that's what she thought. So now I know. So time for me to kind of address that in posts, but I don't address it in my messages with her, in my invite. So anybody have any questions about that? Okay. Invites seem hard, but when you go into your, when you make your list from your post, and you go in there from your post and you make your list and it says, these 5 people all commented something very positive about my workout post. I then make my invite off of that. And it says something like, thank you so much for the support on my post. Sometimes it's hard to share my fitness because I don't want to push people away, but I really appreciate you supporting me. Have you ever considered doing what I do? Have you ever considered joining my group? That's easy. What are they going to say? You're asking if they've considered. You're not saying this would be the best thing for you. Yes, that's inviting. I just invited them to join my challenge group, But if you leave it open-ended and say, have you ever considered doing what I do? I'm inviting them to anything. They could coach. I did that with one post. I had a post that was like 100 people commented, and I said that to all 100 people. And I think I had like 15 coach conversations going because of it. Because have you ever considered doing what I do? They get to pick what I do, what I'm asking them for. And then you can also do the same thing with stories. So when Kelly gets to it, there's a thing about posting in your stories. And you can post in your stories, and you can swipe up and see everybody who's looked at it. And you can say in your conversation with them, you can post back if they looked at your story. I said, thanks for following along. Have you ever thought about joining me? Because in my stories, it's almost all workouts and food. If they're watching my stories, they're watching workouts and food almost entirely. Yes, and respond to everybody who answers your polls. So what I do is I'll go in and I'll go, thank you for following along with my stories. I really appreciate it. Have you ever thought about joining me? That is a legit invite to anything they want to pick. Okay, that seems like the hard one, but it gets easier, and the more you do it, it gets easier. And there are days where I still get stuck, but that's okay, because I go back to my post and I look at my list and I go, oh, that's right, she said that and I could comment on that, or she said that and I could invite her. And it's okay if you've invited them before, you can invite them again. So once you've invited, then you do your follow-ups. So I usually wait a couple of days, maybe like 2. I don't know, Sarah, how many days do you do?
Like for follow-ups?
Yeah, for a follow-up from an invite for somebody who doesn't respond, because this is what you're going to get 90% of the time is you're going to invite them and they're going to go crickets on you.
I think if they flat out don't respond, I usually give a, so what do you think? Or how does that sound? Because honestly, the majority of the world doesn't like refresh their messages like we do, because we're like, they have to answer. The majority of the world doesn't do that. And so sometimes I do that, and then I get a message that's like, oh, my kid hit it and I didn't see it, and and it usually just kind of brings it back up to the top of their notifications. So yeah, 24 to 48 hours, depending on what the conversation was like. If it's somebody I've reached out for the first time, I might give them a little bit longer. But if it's somebody that I've been talking back and forth with and then they shut it down, it's usually the next day.
Okay. Yeah. So, and sometimes what I'll do is I'll go into the last thing that they've said to me and I will do like a thumbs up. And that brings the conversation back up for them, because I have dinged their thing without necessarily saying the next thing. I like put a thumbs up or a smiley eye face or whatever, the heart eye thing on whatever their last thing was. But I will go in and do my follow-ups, and I'll say, if I didn't invite and I'm doing a follow-up, after my invite, I will say, sometimes I lose my messages when I've read them and I think I responded, and I'm just wondering if maybe that happened, or if you were just too busy. I totally understand, but have you considered what I said before? And that way they gave them their out so that they can say, oh yeah, I was in Target and I missed the message, or their kid looked at it or whatever. I can give them their out so that they have an excuse and they don't have to make one up. And then I can say, so what do you think? Would you think this would be a good fit for right now? And then that's it. That's the follow-up. Now, if you have a conversation, Jen early asked me if when a conversation kind of goes dead, what do you do? And I wanted to address this a little bit. So for the follow-ups, I usually do like 2 days. That's usually my thing. So that's the end of follow-ups. But I wanted to go back to connections for a second, because if you have somebody you're in a conversation with and the conversation falls flat, my suggestion is to do something like, I found this recipe and we were talking about food, and send it to them. Add value to their life. In May, I think I probably sent out 30 of this article on moms with kids graduating. because I knew I had all these moms with kids graduating and I wanted to add value to their life. And so I read an article. I really liked it. I sent it to all of them with just a thought of you when I saw this article, and here you go. And then I'm not asking them for anything. I just restarted the conversation. And then if they read it and they comment, great. And if they don't, I've added value to their life and I haven't asked for anything in return. So that was something that I thought of when I was talking to Jen earlier, was find something that sparks something in your conversation that you had and add value to their life by sending it to them. So yeah, that was it. So, and when you add new people, did I do adding yet? I have this list and I'm like, wait, did I even do that? Adding, sorry, add new people. So however many people you want to add a day, you kind of have to pick that. I have 3 a day. You need to pick however many you're going to have, but you have to constantly be expanding your network for new eyes to get on your stuff and for new people to see your stuff. So you need to add new people. These are people that can be Facebook friends. You can add new Facebook friends. You can add new Instagram people. He's lurking. He's right there. You can add new friends, like real life people. You don't have to do everything on the computer. You can have real life people and you can talk to them too. You can also add email people. So it can be whatever your groove is, wherever you find the best stuff. If it's your preschool kids, parents, whoever it is, it can be any of them. So mine are almost always on Facebook, but you can blow it up on Instagram because there are millions of people there. So you do whatever works for you and wherever you find your groove. And however many you feel like you need to do a day. Right now, I think it's 2, 2, and 2. So if you're doing the tracker that Kelly goes over later, it'll be 2. And that's it. That's your power hour. I hope that was not too crazy all over the place.
No, it was perfect. I think that was great. No.
Kind of all over the place, sorry. No. If you guys have questions, I'm going to read the comments. I can't read them when I'm doing it, so I'll read the comments now and I'll type back stuff if there's anything.
Yeah, does anyone have any questions? You can unmute and ask even if you want to before I go into how you track all this stuff.
I just wanted to say one quick thing that I shied away from completely because I'm kind of new to inviting as well. I mean, it's only been probably 2 months. But just before the call, I reached out to someone that I had sent a message to that I was ghosted by, and probably, I think the date was like June 2nd that I sent it, or June, I don't know what it was, and in June. And I just went through and see, I'm not doing my power hour as suggested, so I am at that struck point where I'm like trying to remember, who I messaged and all. So I have to scroll all the way down, and I found her, and I was like, man, she's just not interested, I guess. So I'm just not going to respond. But then I said, let me go for it. And as soon as I messaged her and just said, did you get a chance to watch, to see this invite that I was inviting you to? She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you reached back out to me. Tell me more. I saw the message and I forgot to respond to it. And I'm sorry. So we've, been having a conversation. So it doesn't hurt to go back and follow up with somebody that's been a while that you felt just ghosted, dropped the ball type thing. Because like Sarah said, it's priority on our list, but to them, it's not as priority. So.
Well, and it also, I've lost people where I'll go back months later and I'm like, I totally missed this message. I am so sorry. How are you doing? Just eat the humble pie. You screwed up and it's gonna happen. Don't just let it fall away because you could change their life. Yes, fall on your sword.
And for sure, when you say to somebody like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, they're going to be like, dude, it's okay. like we're good. I've never had Facebook. I'm not talking to you because you didn't respond fast enough. Like, it doesn't work that way. I've said that. That's another thing I've said when I get ghosted sometimes, especially if the conversation's clicking along really well. I have said to people like, hey, I'm sorry if I came off a little too strong. This community has blessed like every corner of my life. And so when I find somebody that I know it will bless, I get really excited and sometimes I go overboard. I'm really sorry if that was like too much. And every once in a while they still say nothing. But most of the time they then come back and they're like, no, we're good. I just had, soccer practice 10 times this week or whatever, like when you fall on your sword or eat the humble pie or whatever, people are really, because it's genuine. You weren't ignoring them. You really did lose the message. So we're not making crap up here. Like you really did lose the message. You really did probably come on a little too strong. You really did. I mean, who's word vomited on a challenger or an invite person at some point? You know what I mean? Like you did probably say too much and you need to kind of shovel it back in a little bit. But I've never had anybody be like, you jerk, it just isn't the way people respond.
Yeah. And I would say that when you come back and you say that, don't throw yourself under the bus, just fall on your sword. You don't need to insult yourself, but you can just say exactly what Sarah said, or like what Angie said, or like, I mean, after I had Eli, I went back and realized I had not answered some people for 3 months, and I had this great excuse that I had a newborn. So I was like, I'm just, and that people, because I did, or whatever season. So good. So good. Yeah. I would say assume the yes more than the no. People are not ignoring you because you're annoying them. People are forgetting because they're busy. Like that's the honest truth. Like, I mean, not to say I haven't had times in my life where people ghost me forever and I don't know why, but even then I've learned that if I went back and checked what I said, and I, sometimes even would say like, hey, Sarah, Angie, take a peek at this. Did this look like I said too much? No, not at all. Okay. Well, then that's not me. And that's hard, but you grow through it, and you learn to kind of, because it's worth it to keep going for the people who are ready to make the change. So what I want to talk to you guys about tonight is how to track this stuff. So what Angie shared with you is all available on a little list that is called a business activity tracker. Beachbody developed one. It's called now the Success Club system. She's holding it up because I'm in the beach without a printer. But I'm going to share my screen.
Right, but she has to talk so everybody can see it because we're in speaker view.
Right. What I'm going to actually share my screen.
I didn't realize that. I'm not in speaker view.
No, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to try to open it in the team page. So if you guys are looking, can y'all see the team page? Okay. Yeah. So over here in units, in the team page, if you click on units, and my husband's washing dishes. Can you wait? Oh, he's making coffee. Okay. If you look in units, under unit 2, this is how to work your business, power hour training and tips. So when you're ready to start digging in, all the tools you need are in this unit. There are also videos and things that will review some of the things Angie talked about tonight about connecting and inviting and following up. So if you ever need like a refresher, that stuff is available here. And we're actually going to post this video here too. I can't see. Don't make him stop washing dishes. So if you look here, the first thing that I'm going to show you is this. It's called the TBB Success Club System Tracker. Where'd it go? Okay. Hang on. Can y'all see this when it opened, or is it still on the team page? You can see this? Okay, this came out last year. This is amazing. I used to make my own trackers because they didn't have one that had all of these things, and this one that they have is awesome. So here on the tracker, this will tell you everything you need to do in a day to do a power hour. And the recipe that was kind of passed down to us from our upline is what you'll heard Angie call like the 222. It's like the simple recipe. So when you're doing this tracker and you're saying, I only have 30 minutes a day, you're golden. You can do 2, 2, and 2 in 30 minutes a day. And then when you get a little bit of a groove with that, if you're like, well, I'd like to do some more, you move it up to 3, 3, and 3, or 5, 5, and 5. And what that means is 5 invites, 5 connections, and 5 follow-ups. So you're kind of getting yourself in a rhythm, or 2, 2, and 2. So here you have your why every week. So someone had recommended you could print off 52 of these. So you'd have one for every week and go to Staples and get them to bind it for you, or put it in a binder. But you write your why. It's important to do that. You write your target market. There's other tools up here, but I'm going to focus more on, it has proof of the products work, that you're doing your workout and drinking your shake. But this number 2 is the phase 1 that we're talking about tonight. Initiating connections and adding followers. And then doing a social media post that showcases the benefits of your healthy lifestyle or has a call to action. If you do stories right here, it walks you through what to put in your stories. And, daily life, workout clips, product used, healthy meal or meal prep, invitation to promote a group, recognition or shout out. You can check them off as you go. I use it as a guide because I don't necessarily do an invitation every single day in my stories. That's a whole other call. But the point is, this is stuff that you want to have throughout your week in your stories. Respond to all new likes, comments, and views on your stories, like Angie talked about, or on your posts. Invite, however you fill in your goal, many people to join a challenge group or learn about coaching. So you could say 2, which is for every day. Follow up with people you've invited. Then you have down here phase 2, just to keep you on track, which is contributing to your challenge group, recognizing people's achievements, responding to questions from customers and coaches, and doing your PD. And that's it. Like, you print it off, you check it off. And what's nice is if you keep it on the desk next to you when you're working, when you start to squirrel, you go see how many checks you've made. If you've checked all of the column, then give yourself like 10 minutes of scrolling as a reward. But don't do it till you're done. I love Melanie Mitro, who was a top coach for 4 times. We were at a training and she's like, my reward when I'm done with my power hour is online shopping. She's like, but I don't let myself online shop. She's like a bazillionaire. But she's like, I don't let myself online shop until I'm done. So to me, if it's scrolling or watching a video or whatever, scrolling other coaches' stories, like catching up with friends, it's after you do your power hour, and this checklist is what keeps you focused. Okay, so this is the first part. The second page, which I love, is Angie talked about making your list. So you make your list on a piece of paper, and then as you invite people, you need to write their names down. So you can use this sheet to do that. You can write their name, the date of when you contacted them, and take notes, and then you can check off later when you follow up with them. So this is a great sheet. It has, I think, 30 spaces on it for a week, and this doesn't have to be just your invites. This could be conversations that all of a sudden they're responding and you're getting in a conversation. You decide who needs to be on this list. They're mainly the people you don't want to lose. And so I love this tracker. I think it's a gift that that Beachbody created it. So that is your activity tracker. When they talk about on the top of the team page, there's a power hour poll. A power hour is when you've completed everything on here. Now, if you're super duper emerald personality, which means like follow everything to the T, if you do 3 stories and you don't do 2 of them, you still can count a power hour. Like, I know, but you don't have to, like, if you like, okay, so my point is, if you didn't recognize someone's achievement on Tuesday, you can still do a power hour. The point is, it's there because you want to make sure during the week those things happen. And I just have to say that because I can be like a kind of rule follower about that stuff, and I have to learn to let it go. He's actually making coffee that smells really good. Okay, can you see the team page now? All right, the second thing I want to show you is this is created by Elizabeth Aldrich. She made a actual sheet that we call the recipe tracker that goes along with the Success Club checklist. And what you do is you print one of these for every week. So like at the beginning of August, you could print off 4 or 5. I think there's 5 weeks this month. And this is where you write down your 2 finds, your 2 connects, your 2 invites, and your 2 follow-ups every day. And what I like about this tracker, and I used something like this for a very long time when I was a new coach, is say you invite someone Monday, you could write their names in the Wednesday follow-up slot. You can schedule, if you had all 4 sheets printed out and you invite someone on Friday, you could flip to the Monday of next week and have your follow-ups. Now, you might have some days, y'all, that you'll have more than 2 follow-ups, and that's okay. You will figure it out. The rhythm that you find with your power hour happens by doing it. And so you have to just consistently do your power hour so that you figure out like, oh, I need to, like, so for Saturday here, you could just do follow-up catch-up. Like she has here on Saturday, just slots for follow-up. So this is the simple recipe: 2 finds, 2 connects, 2 invites, and 2 follow-ups. And then, yes.
So you would use this instead of the back of the other Success Club tracker.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. I just want to make sure, because I want to make sure it's very clear that you don't have to do both of them. The other one you can use for your list, or you can use, and then you can do this here, or you can use the other one however you want. But this takes the place of the back of this one.
Yeah.
So you don't need to track things in 2 or 3 places.
No.
Just track their name, but you need to track the names in all the parts, because you need to have invites tracked, follow-ups tracked, conversations tracked, all of it. Otherwise, you're going to lose people, and those are people you could be helping.
Yes. Yes. And
can I add something to that? When you first start, speaking as one who knows, like you feel like, oh, well, I only talked to 2 people. I can remember 2 people. Well, now I can remember 4 people, and now I can remember 6 people. And you can for a hot minute until you can't. And so you have to track when it feels foolish. And I love Elizabeth's form because it's got a place for every single name. Because I guarantee you, there's nothing more frustrating than when you have talked to somebody and you've encouraged them and you've gotten to them to the point that they believe in you. And then 3 weeks later, they tag you in a message saying how you inspired them to go join It Works or something, whatever, because you didn't follow up, because someone else swooped in and picked your fruit that you worked really hard to encourage that person and inspire them and create belief. And they credit you right out there on Facebook for the world to see, but you didn't follow up because you were sure you could remember it. And then you just didn't.
And I would say that the second sheet from the Success Tracker is perfect for you to make that invite list. Because if you want to hit Success Club 5, which is to help 3 people, on average, you want to send 30 good invites. If you want to hit Success Club 10, you want to send 60 good invites. And so that sheet's perfect. And the reason why I like that sheet is because this is like your daily operations, but on that sheet you can jot down notes. They're like the people, like when the person starts responding, and you can, but yes, you don't need to have 3 different places you're tracking. So tonight what I'm sharing is 3 tools that we have the paper form for that are really useful. But if you start doing the Power Hour and you find one of them does not serve you, throw it away and just use the ones that do. But I found that using the Success Club checklist, the list for my main list, or like I shared before, and then this for like your inviting and follow up, and kind of like almost like this is like your schedule book, so to speak, can really help you to not lose people. Because you're right, like Sarah's totally right. Like you are helping people, and you think you can keep up with their names and things, but what happens too, y'all, when you don't take time to track your business is your business starts to take over your mind in times of your day that you don't want it to. And then I hear people say, I was on my phone all day, I couldn't put it down, I never could do anything, I didn't make any money because I was always stressed and blah, blah. Well, that's because we're not treating it like in the boundaries of our business. And so one tip I will give you when you are doing this is use the checklist, use the form to track like this 222, and then put it away. Have a set time that you're working or set space, and then put it away. You're done, and if you feel like you got to do more, unless you need to and it aligns with your goals and priority, let it go till the next day. There are coaches on our team who successfully worked 2, 2, and 2, 30 minutes to an hour, and build a $500 to $750 a month income off of that. And, like they were not on all the time. And when you get to that $500, $750 mark, and you're doing this, and you're like, I want to grow, well, then you're going to have to spend a little more time because you're going to have a team. But my point is, they were focused, and that was in their favor. So This is our business tracker that you use and align with the Success Club checklist. The last thing that I'll share, and this is the last sheet, is this was a challenge that was done in Team Courage last year in July. And it literally helped reinvigorate my business because my funnel went dry. And what your funnel is that, you imagine a funnel where you're pouring like oil into a car. The top of the funnel is the widest, and that is your new conversations, new finds, people you're meeting. And as you're talking to those people, it funnels down to people that you invite, and then you start to talk to them more, and then some people say yes, and they trickle out of the funnel. But a lot of times what can happen is if we're not focused on new conversations and kind of setting a goal for how many we want to do in a month, our funnel will dry up and we'll start talking to the same people, and you'll pull up the same list, and it's like the third month and it's the same 30 names, and you're thinking, I don't want to aggravate these people. They're not ready. And so this is the conversation tracking sheet. It is the challenge Summer gave us that year was to do 100 conversations. I will tell you, you set your goal for however many you want to do. If you're a brand new coach, say I want to do 25. If talk to your coach, I want to do 50. But what you can do is you have the checklist, you have the 2, 2, and 2 array names, but this, you can color it in every time you do 2 so that your goal is to fill the blocks and you see the total. Or you can write names on it if you want to write names. You don't have to though, since you're writing them on the 2, 2, and 2. But I remember it was a great challenge. And when I did this in July, August, and September, by October, I had full momentum going again in my business, because it takes about 90 days to really get the ball rolling through consistency. Now that you won't see results before, now that people won't say yes, but to get the momentum where you don't feel like you're pushing super, super hard, it takes time, because these are people and we want to honor their seasons and walk with them. But this is a great sheet that you can print off in the unit. So the last thing I'll share on here, y'all, this is like Angie's talking here. It's a video she did on to remind you of how to make your connections. We have a training here on how to organize things, even if you wanted to, in a binder, but it also goes through the sheets that we talked about tonight here. There is videos that Sarah did on, okay, you've invited someone, now what do you do? Well, it's talked how to form with them, how to close, like digging deeper into the things you're going to say. This is a friend of mine, Jordan, in a video she's done following up. So the things that you've heard tonight, if you feel like you need a refresher, this call will be there, but you can always have these videos to refresh, and also when you have coaches, to share with them. If they're like, what's a follow-up? Here, let me tag you in a video that a coach did. It's a third-party tool to help your coaches. There are some scripts here that are for inviting. I'm going to say this, and then down here is some questions, like when Angie talked about finding the need, just ways to just talk to them and ask questions, not just word vomit and tell them what to do. 4 scripts. I do not think you should open this up and copy what's here and paste it, please. But what I do think is, if you're feeling stuck, sometimes reading what other people say, like we'll share our invites in the team page, gives you a little inspiration to find your voice. And so when you're doing your invite, you can post in the team page, I was going to send this out. Can I get some feedback? Or send it to your coach. Or if someone's talking to you and you have questions, you can always screenshot the conversation and use a little marker to black out their name and post it in the team page and say, can someone help me? Because this is what I'm thinking would help her, but I want some advice on how to. That's how we work as a team. You might be talking to someone that has PCOS and someone else on the team has it and you don't, and they can come in and say, oh, here's my testimony. You know what I'm saying? So the beauty of this whole, holy cow, the chat, I missed all of the messages. The beauty of this whole business is it is your business, but we get to be a family serving one another, and that can help save you time. But if you're not tracking your business, like we're doing 100 steps in our fitness, I would challenge you to track your business for 100 times this fall. That could be 5 power hours a week, in 4 months, and see where it is. That could be 2, 2, and 2 for 4 months. Like, I challenge you, where could your business be in 4 months if you said 2, 2, and 2, and I'm not going to do more? Like, maybe you struggle with perfectionism. Like, I struggle with it. And in the Appreciation Academy, Brad Bijak is doing a challenge with some of us in there. It's a perfectionist challenge where we can't get all of the points in the challenge. We have to not do things. And for people that like to check everything off the list, I would rather you be in this business for 5 years and hit your goal and be well rested and hugging your kiddos and feeling good and peaceful and healthy than always feeling behind because you don't have a system. When you can we do a check-in like the challenge group, post your tracker every day? Well, we have the Power Hour poll, so you could post your tracker every day. You do it under the Power Hour poll. And actually, starting on Sundays, I'm going to put up a post on Sundays that says post your tracker for the week. So you can actually show your Success Club tracker. And for the Cathedral Builders, it's part of our accountability too. Because something you're going to notice is that as you work your business, it's going to evolve into how it works for you. And you're going to change some things and tweak some things and come up with this. And some people might use a Google form and some people might use Streak and and that's okay. But start here and do it long enough that you're like comfortable with it, because this business can be really enjoyable, y'all. And I love that you can take it where you go. If you do the sheets, get a binder so that you can hole punch them and stick them in the binder. If you're an office supply junkie like me, you can get some fun dividers for the months, and make it look pretty. But I know that when I started to track my business, it changed my business. I felt like I owned it, and in a new way. When you invite for coaching, I would say you have a certain number of invites you want to do a week. So if you're doing 2, 2, and 2, that's 10 invites a week. Make a goal of how many of those would you like to be for coaching. So say maybe I want to invite 2 people to coach every week. And then just like Angie shared, the invites, a lot of times my invites to coaching are with challengers that are in my group already, because I get them connected to the products that will help them. They start to have success. And then I'll say, hey, like, I noticed that you're really loving this and I appreciate so much the value you add in our group. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? And then I can, if they say, well, I don't really know what you do, can you tell me more about it? We have third-party tools in a unit on how to invite to coaching. And they're like there's like a 10-minute video that talks about the opportunity, and I'll send it. If you're just starting out though, you're kind of in a really sweet spot that I kind of didn't take advantage of as a new coach because I was scared to talk to anyone. And I wish I would have reached out to some of my best friends and said, because I know people who have done this because it's genuine, and said, I am doing this thing and I am really excited and I want you to be a part of it. It's just like you're opening a business, because you are. And say, if you were opening a boutique and you knew it was going to blow up and be awesome, you'd want your best friend to be a part of that. And just to say, would you be open to just having a conversation about it? And then you see what they say, listen to them. And you can, talk to your upline coach and ask them, like, you could set up a call between you and your upline and your friend, or if your upline can tell you, like, no, send her this video and then we can set up a call. There's a lot of different ways based on the relationship. But as a new coach, like, you have honestly such a golden egg to give people, because I didn't, and I just didn't know better. And I wish I would have, because I waited too late for some people to ask them when I finally had the confidence, and a couple of them had already joined other opportunities. And I was like, ah. And so it's just like they said, you find something that's amazing and you just want them there. Like, I told one of our friends, Sarah and I both had, I was like so nervous. And I was like, it's like I'm at a barbecue and you're not there. I want you at my barbecue, and she was really flattered by it. And some will say yes and some will say no and watch you. And then they'll say yes later. That's the big funny joke about Sarah. Like, I posted my challenger box, and she's like, good luck with that. And then
every year it was the biggest kiss off ever. She didn't even invite me. Like I gave her a big kiss off and she hadn't even invited me. But I was talking to one of my new coaches this morning about this very thing. And I told her, I said, listen, you're brand new. What you need to do is just write down every single person you can think of. And when I first heard that, I didn't do it. And I definitely didn't. I mean, I didn't even do it. But like, what I told her is like, listen, write every single person down. And it does not mean that you have to invite every single person on that list to join you. But you need to touch every single person on that list because they came to mind for a reason. And it could just be send that person a text and say, you came to my mind today and I hope you're having a great day. Because what's our goal here? Our ultimate goal here is to enrich the lives of the people that we come in contact with. And I will tell you, like, guys, I have like superhuman belief in this company, and it happens every time I go to Summit. And then it continues for as long as I keep fueling that fire. And so the longer I'm consistent, the longer my belief lasts, the longer it grows. And so I was telling Kelly, like, I've been working out consistently for 9 months now since I started in November after baby number 6. And I kid you not, I was inverted on my hands today. Like, there is picture proof of it. Like, literally inverted on my hands, blew the heck out of my mind. Because I had a feeling like I felt amazing, but the picture was going to be like laughable at best. But I might frame this one. Like, it's phenomenal. But my point is, my goal is for as many people to feel as amazing as I do. And I 100% believe it's through Beachbody. I don't believe there's anybody who can't benefit from something that we have to offer. And that's the attitude with which I go into all of my invites. Yeah. So when you're nervous and somebody asks, how do you beat the nervousness you might feel? Don't start small. To hell with that. You shoot for the moon because you have something amazing. And when you don't invite someone, you are robbing them of the opportunity to feel amazing.
Yeah, I think
that's all you're doing.
Yeah, I agree. And one of the best quotes ever said is by Tommy Migrant, who's one of a founding coach. And he said, like, we don't have the right to hold someone else's future captive in our mouth. And I would say that if you struggle with feeling nervous, and a couple things to check. Are you being active in your challenge group and on your journey? Because sometimes we're nervous because we're in our own struggle. And if the answer is yes, like I'm in a hard time, then the second thing was, what kind of PD are you doing? And then the third thing is, take a piece of paper, Care Bear and I'm not, and write it, like, fold it in half and write on one side, before I was a challenger coach and now, and make a list of everything your life was like before and everything your life is like now, and keep that in front and read it before you go to do your power hour. And then you almost feel like you can't. I mean, if I need to get pumped up, sometimes I'll just go listen to an old team call, or I'll listen to one of the videos in the team page. The times that I'm most nervous about inviting to coaching are usually in seasons where I'm really disorganized in my business. And so I feel like overwhelmed, or I'm not taking care of my own self. And so I feel tired. But like she said, don't start small in a sense of sheepish, like, at all. You have something to be proud of, you know, and like she said, like, I love how she just shared that. Like, it takes time for you to have the courage to have that belief, because people are going to tell you no. And some people might even say you're wrong, you know, but at Summit, Michael Neiman, the president of something now, they changed everybody's position, said, like, this is not just a business opportunity. This is an opportunity to change people's lives. And I fully believe it. And so, yeah, it's totally on them. So if you feel nervous, that's normal. But I would say, like, when I'm active in my challenge group and I go read some people's posts, then I want to go, like, ask everybody. Cause I'm like, holy cow, that girl just, like, nailed her first word, like Sarah saying, I was, like, inverted. Or like when Elizabeth posted her first pregnancy and second pregnancy, every pregnant woman I know, I was like, hey, can I talk to you and see how you're doing? Like, I wasn't like, hey, you need to do this, but it got me like, I want to have another pregnancy so I can be pregnant like Elizabeth was. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was inspiring. Like, And the first place to share it is in our team and in your challenge group, because that's where you rally to have the confidence to kind of go out and reach out. And so much baby fever. We have so many kids on this team. We are like the highest multiplying team on the entire Beachbody company, and I'm very proud of that. Like, so, but yes, that's a great point, because I think that, you know, and I love, Sarah said this one time too, like, imagine what it's going to be like when they say yes before you invite them. Yeah, she does. Rachel Hollis gets pumped up. I mean, if you got to put on Beyonce and dance or Eye of the Tiger or whatever your theme song is. But yeah, like, if the times I've struggled are usually when I'm not connecting to the community as well as I need to, like whether my challenge group participation is down because I'm too stuck in making Canva stuff or whatever distracts me. I'm a little addicted to making forms, but anyway. So, but you guys, like, the key is don't get stuck in the start. Don't get stuck getting ready to get ready. Pour some sugar on me. Just, I want to know how many of you, I'm going to take it off speaker view. Like, how many of you are committing to tracking? Okay. So take some time and say, you know, reach out to your coach tonight and say, or after you listen to this call, if you're only listening to the recording, and say, I need to start tracking. Can we chat so you can help me get my stuff set up? And take a picture of the stuff you printed and send it to them and tell them your goal. That's the big step when you tell someone this is what I want to do. That's why, you know, and then on Sundays, we're going to start having post your tracker below. So you're clicking your power hour, but you're also showing your bat filled out. And y'all, mine's not always perfectly filled. You know, it's not. It's some weeks it is. In the Cathedral Builders, we shared a tracker for a long time. It was really good for us to see that some areas we had holes in our boat. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. But does anyone else have anything to add? No. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close us in prayer. But I appreciate you guys taking the time to be here tonight. It's good to have everyone here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Angie. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Allison, for just, you know, and every time we have a team call, please know you're always welcome to add whatever value comes to mind. Like, that's very helpful for all of us to grow and to learn. Heavenly Father, I'm just so grateful for this team, Lord. I'm thankful for all of the ways that we are growing and learning how to serve others and to love you better, Lord, and to love our families and love who you created us to be. God, I want to thank you so much for the rank advancements that we've seen this week, the business that is growing. We want to just give you thanks for the ways that you have inspired coaches to extend invitations and invite people to be a part of this family. I'm so grateful for the challengers that we have to serve in our challenge groups, the ones we will get to serve this month. And I ask, Lord, that you would give us a spirit of courage and a spirit of peace. I just want to pray that we can have the confidence to say what our goals are and lean in together and not have fear of judgment and not have the fear of, you know, failing or even the fear of succeeding, but that we can just enjoy the journey 2 steps at a time. Lord, I pray that you would help whoever is here tonight on the call or listening to the call that needed to hear that, you know, they're here for a reason and that this business can be whatever you're calling it to be for them, and that this team, we are here to help walk with one another in our goals and in our vision and our purpose. Lord, I give thanks for Sarah's team growing and the milestone she hit with Diamond. I'm so grateful for the many coaches that we welcomed into our team, for the babies that we welcomed this week. Lord, we pray for Elizabeth and Emily and their recovery. We pray in Thanksgiving for all of the new life on our team. And I just give you so much thanks for the opportunity to walk here with everyone and to be a part of this Freedom family, Lord, and all that you're calling us to as we head into this new month and this new season. And we ask that you just guide us every step, protect us, lead us, and open the hearts of those that we will be talking to and give us the words to serve them well and love them well. Let me just give you all the glory. Amen. All right, you guys, We gotta take a picture. I can't do pictures when I'm in speaker view because then it would be like not everyone. So let's do a quick picture. 1, 2, 3. Okay, sweet. Thank you guys so much. Have an awesome night.